What's up, YouTube? The other day, one of my Discord members had an awesome idea. What if I made a camera lens out of glass aquarium stones? So I went to Walmart and I bought some glass aquarium stones. So let's cut open my sack and find out if this is possible. That was a dumb idea. It seems like I'm constantly crawling on the ground, finding little pieces of glass. I mean, the cool thing about this idea is some of the glass has this cool orangey, iridescent flake inside of it. I don't know if that's going to affect the image in a good way or a bad way. I'll be honest with you, I don't even know if this idea is gonna work, but we're gonna try it. Okay, so I'm gonna try and tackle this project the smartest way possible. Obviously, the image created with this lens is going to be terrible, but I want it to be the best terrible it can be. So I'm putting the glass through a series of tests that I came up with pretty much on the spot. First, we have the taste test. Next, we have the girth test. I think you know what that means. The spin test. The weight test. And finally, the energy test. Which bead speaks to my soul? Out of the 63 beads, I've found 14 potential candidates. Now I'll sort these 14 by clarity. Okay, so here's what I came up with. 2 clear beads, 1 orange swirly bead, and 1 gold painted one. I'm gonna adapt these to my new camera system that features interchangeable lens blocks. That way, I can try them all out back to back. Okay, so before we go balls to the wall, adapting your granny's decorative vase glass stuff, let's talk a little bit about why I think this specific object is a good candidate for a weird lens adaptation. So when I'm looking for lenses to adapt to my cameras, I'm looking for lenses that have a convex shape. And what that does is it typically allows for light to enter from multiple angles. So when you're looking at something that you might want to adapt to your camera and it looks like the image is being projected upside down, that means that that item creates a real image and it refracts the light at a certain angle that essentially makes it an ideal candidate for a camera. Now, I'm sure there are some of you in the comment section who probably know more than me about this specific topic, so feel free to comment and tell me that I'm an idiot or that I'm wrong or something, because 9 times out of 10, I am wrong. The little glass beads that I have here, these seem like they would be good candidates. So we got another 12 minutes left to see if this lens block that I made is going to fit properly. Okay, so I actually did some practical tests as well. Shape tests, thickness, clarity tests, and using that method, I ended up with 3 beads. I tested them and the results were nothing special. So I went through and tried as many beads as I could fit in my lens block system. This was very time consuming, but I was able to test 34 beads. Here are 34 photos. I decided to mark beads that were exceptionally sharp using blue painter's tape. I ended up with 11 pretty sharp candidates. After separating them from the turds, I wiped them off with some alcohol and proceeded to test for extreme sharpness. My goal is to have 1 clear bead and 1 colored bead so that we can do some outdoor testing and decide if this is viable or just a complete waste of time. Okay, so I'm sitting at my desk now and reviewing the 12 sharpest beads that I was able to find. The problem is, since the beads were probably cast by children in China, they have like weird stress cracks and inconsistencies with things. So when turned one way, they look optically pretty clear, but when turned the other way, it just doesn't look good at all. So going off of these images, I would say that number 4 and number 12 are the sharpest of the bunch. So I'm gonna move forward with those 2 And fortunately for me, one of them is a colored bead and one of them is a clear bead. So you'll get to see how that affects the images. We're gonna go and do some photography with this really weird setup. So yeah, stay tuned. Okay, so before I leave, I decided I was gonna print another aperture disc that has a smaller aperture. Since this gem doesn't take very sharp images, it's important for us to try and get it as sharp as possible. And just a little tip, if you ever decide you wanna make your own lens, if you're gonna be shooting outdoors, take your lens as is with the aperture that you've created and go outside. And if it's a nice, bright, sunny day outside, your goal is to have a properly exposed image with 100 ISO and let's say about 1/60 or 1/80 shutter speed. That's gonna give you the sharpest image possible. So if your aperture is too open and you're shooting at 1/500 or something crazy like that, you're gonna end up with really soft images, especially if you're trying to adapt a glass bead. So I'm printing another one here. I'm gonna bring both aperture discs with me and we can try both just to kind of compare and see if it actually does sharpen the image up. I'm pretty confident it will. Wish me luck, because this is the dumbest thing I've ever done. Okay, so we're out here at the park by myself. I figured I'll get outside, take some nice pictures. I'm gonna go walk the path in the wooded area. So I brought my camera with my modular lens system. I also brought some smaller aperture discs so I can swap these out. I have my glass beads that I tested and have, the best option. I also brought my iPad and this tool that Freewell sent me. So this is an SD card reader that Freewell sent me, but it's actually a little bit more than that. It can do CF Express cards, SD, micro SD, and it can also store a whole bunch of them here. I brought this just so that I can look a little bit closer at the images and make sure that they're as sharp as they possibly can be. But this works with my iPad because it has a USB-C connection. It can transfer images pretty quickly. And if you're interested in checking it out, make sure you check out the link in the description of this video. Let's go take some pictures. Okay, so can you make a lens out of a glass bead? Yes, you can. Now, the pictures are not anything to write home about. It looks kind of like a toy camera, so to some people they might look pretty cool. I didn't take a great deal of photos, but I'll include a couple of my favorite ones, if you can call them that. So once I left my house, it became very apparent that the sun and stray light really made taking a decent photo even harder. At the end of the day, you can take a picture with this, and I think that's really cool. And did I come into this thinking, wow, yeah, this is gonna be clinically sharp? Is this gonna be like a Carl Zeiss lens? No, I didn't think that. It is pretty cool. As always, if you're interested in checking out all the images in greater detail, feel free to check out my Discord, linked below. It's free. You can hop in there. There's awesome people in there. Always people in there talking and interacting and having a good time. So make sure you go check that out. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Very, very soon, I'm going to be releasing a dedicated video about my new modular lens system. I know there are a lot of you out there that are interested in learning more about that. I'm very interested in sharing more about that. So stay tuned, have a fantastic day, and I will talk to you very, very soon. Peace! Ugh.